Hello, friends. How are you doing? I know I've been gone for 3 weeks, which was accidental, and I apologize for that, but school kicked my butt. But now I'm done with school and I'm on summer break, so that's pretty sick. Also, if I sound a little nasally, that's just because I'm getting over a cold. I've been kind of sick the past few days, but we're getting better. That's all that matters. Hey friends, my name is Miranda and welcome to my universe. Today, we are doing something different. I've never done this before, but I'm actually really excited about it because this is something that I do with a lot of books I read. Actually, almost every single book I read and show I watch and movie I watch, and I think that this is a normal thing for people to do. I'm reading Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare, which is the second book in her newest series. And so I figured, since I'm about halfway through the book, that I would talk about my predictions for who is going to end up with who. And then I'm thinking maybe after I'm done reading the third book, which isn't out, of course, and that will probably be another year or so, I could always react to this video or talk about this video and see whether or not my predictions were accurate or not. I will not be spoiling anything, so you do not have to worry about that if you're watching this but you haven't actually started the series. Let's just get started. I'm dying to talk about these things. All right, I'm gonna go by like main characters first, and then we'll see where we end up from there. Our main character, Cordelia Carstairs. I wonder who she ends up with. Paul cannot convince me that she does not end up with James, okay? She has to end up with James. She's madly in love with James. That's not a spoiler. She literally starts off the entire series with Cordelia being in love with James. Like, this isn't, none of us were surprised. None of us were surprised. However, James is the one that's in the middle of kind of this really difficult love triangle, so I could see how he might end up with somebody else, but he has to end up with Cordelia. I will literally scream if he ends up with Grace Blackthorne. Let's talk about Grace Blackthorne for a second. Why don't we do that? I honestly don't want her to end up with anybody. Is that terrible to say? She just ticks me off in so many different ways. She's just very manipulative. She does everything for herself. She does things because her mom tells her to do things, and then she's like, oh, but my mother's such a good person. But then she like murders things, and her mother gets tangled in with all the occult and demons. Like, what do you mean? Grace, sweetie. You know, it would be funny if she ended up with Matthew. Matthew is like the always drunk best friend to James. And I actually love Matthew. But what's funny about this whole thing is the fact that Matthew actually hates Grace. And so if they ended up together at the end, am I onto something? However, dang, this can go so many places. I was going to say I could also see Matthew ending up with Lucy. Now, Lucy is James's younger sister. Everybody's related to each other somehow in this series. It's kind of strange. Gather your thoughts, Miranda. Gather your thoughts. Cordelia and James end up together. I'm going to say that Matthew and Grace end up together just because I know Lucy, I want Lucy to end up with Matthew, but here's the thing. Lucy can speak to ghosts. Okay, and she's best friends with who? Jesse. Now, Jesse is Grace's brother, and he actually passed away when he was young. And so now he's a ghost, but he talks to Lucy all the time and they're best friends. So really, deep down in my soul, I know that Lucy and Jesse probably end up together because if you've read the rest of the Shadowhunter books, you know that the Blackthorne family line has to continue on. And Jesse's the only guy to pass on his last name. So naturally, Jesse they're gonna find a way to raise him from the dead. And then he's gonna end up with Lucy because they're best friends. But I love Lucy and Matthew together. But no, but yes. Final answer, Lucy and Jesse probably end up together. And then I guess I'll say Matthew and Grace. But I doubt that would actually happen. I'm just saying it would be funny because Matthew hates Grace's guts. So that would be funny if like they ended up together in the end anyways. But hopefully not. Hopefully Grace just stays single because that girl has to work on herself. All right, now, Christopher, the literal love of my life. I want Christopher to end up with me. That's my final answer. He's such a nerd and I love him. I love him so much. Then we have Thomas. You cannot tell me that Thomas and Alistair are not going to end up together. I dare you to tell me that they're not going to end up together because they're going to end up together. Anna, Christopher's sister. I actually have no idea who Anna's going to end up with. The rest of the characters are like, it's kind of easy to figure out. But Anna is ruthless when it comes to romance. It's like the second she finds out that somebody has a crush on her, she bullies them to the point where they don't even want to be around her anymore. Like she just constantly, like she leads them on. She's always leading somebody on. Multiple people on at the same time. And then she breaks all of their hearts, but then she somehow still manages to lead on more people, even though they know how ruthless she is and the fact that she really, does she really care about other people's feelings? She's so hard to figure out. She's super cool though. Like, I would try to be friends with her in real life. Not sure if she would necessarily like me. She just stands up for herself and she knows what she deserves. But then at the same time, it's like she is so mean to everybody else that it's like, honey boo boo, you don't know what everybody else deserves. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe she just ends up staying single, because I can see that too. You could just be single your entire life and totally be fine with it and just vibe, you know? Like, I think she doesn't need anyone. She doesn't need anybody. She is totally 100% confident on her own. She can take care of herself and she has fun. Does she ever settle? Who knows? I guess we'll have to see. You know what? I could also see Thomas with Anna too. But no. Because he's not really Anna's type. But yes, because they're both super snarky and they have big personalities. Thomas is a little bit pushover-ish. But then Anna would be able to express herself more in the relationship and he would kind of like let her. And they would be kind of a good balance. No. Well, all right, guys, I'm gonna end it there just because I could keep on talking about these characters. Those are my predictions. We'll have to see if I'm right or not. Because honestly, like I think I nipped it in the butt for some of these. Comment down below your predictions. Do not give anything away. We do not spoil here. But comment down below your predictions, which ones you agree with me on, which ones you don't. Let's have a chit chat about these guys. I love you all so much. Please be safe, make good choices, and I'll definitely see you next time. Bye!